Hey everyone, welcome to Taste Different Gaming Appetizers. What's on the news tonight? Well, the Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League game. They had a closed beta not too long ago, and the NDA for that closed beta has been lifted somewhat. You can talk about it, you just can't show it. If you recorded any video or took pictures or whatever, you can't show any of that, but you can talk about your experience with the game. So if you've been looking out on the internets here lately, you'll notice that a lot of publications have been talking about their experience, as well as if you go on forums and stuff like that, a lot of people that played the closed beta have been talking about their experience. So in a statement, Rocksteady said, now that there is more news about the game out there and players are asking, we're no longer enforcing a portion of the NDA. And we're allowing players to start to talk about the experience from the closed alpha test, right? Now, just to preference this real quick before I continue, this was an alpha test. The game comes out here in like a month or 2 months. Okay. Well, still 2 months.
2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks.
Oh,
February
2
2nd.
weeks.
February 2nd.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot. It's even closer than I thought. So that was an alpha. Right. I don't know if it was just an alpha build we were playing or and they have a more advanced build, or if that was the latest thing. I'm not 100% sure on that. But
that was 2 weeks ago, right? About 2 weeks ago, we did the alpha, correct?
Yeah, give or take, maybe a month ago at the most. I can't remember. So we're even closer, as Pat said. We're 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. So we're even closer than I thought. Man, insane. But anyway. Like I say, they're allowing people to talk about the closed alpha test. We've heard the community request and want to give players an opportunity to discuss what it's like to explore Metropolis as Harvey Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. To the amazing players who tested the game, please feel free to talk and write about your gameplay experience. Like I said, people cannot post imagery or videos from the test, but they're allowing people to talk about it. And luckily for you all, there's 2 of us here that did play it, me and Shane. Pat was going to play it with us, but we apparently forgot to tell him that we were playing. So he had it downloaded. We just forgot to mention that we were playing it. Yeah. It comes out on February 2nd. So yeah, very soon. So we'll go around and we'll get Pat's experience, at least from what he's heard and what he thinks. He's seen videos and things of the game, and then we'll also talk with Shane about his experience with the closed beta or closed alpha. I'm sorry, alpha test of the game, as well as mine. So we'll go ahead and shoot over to Shane first to give your thoughts about the closed alpha. What did you think? What were some highlights? What were some lowlights? What was your experience with it?
What's this highlight you're speaking of?
It's Miller highlights.
Oh, that really, it tastes like Miller highlights when you play it. This is not Rocksteady's best work. You can tell it's a cash grab. It's purely 100%. They took an outstanding IP and turned it into a cash grab. Now, that being said, there is some enjoyment to be had, I think, as long as you play with friends. Now, that being said, let's talk about the dumpster fire. So, as Nick said, we both played the alpha. You had to do a little intro that allowed you to play with the 4 protagonists. You got little experience with each. Then when you start the actual campaign, you choose your character. Okay. Each character, I will say, did feel different. Movesets felt different. I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just going to say different. The world they put you in is, at least the alpha experience, the world they put you in is really A to B. It looks open and all that, but it was so unenticing. All we wanted to do was go yoink over there. That's it. It didn't feel, and it may change with the full game, because They apparently it was so good in the alpha they just skipped to beta. But they just nothing made me feel like, okay, let's go over here. No, we just went A to B. That's it. The visuals look good. I'll give it that. And I think it ran well. I don't think we really ran into, we did run into a couple issues where I think it was just me. I can't remember. I don't believe you did it, but just randomly changed to another character. And then we had like twin characters and, it was weird. And I don't believe we're supposed to be doing it. I believe the game is supposed to be 4 different people at all times. So it was very boring. It's a comic book game and it's Rocksteady, so it shouldn't be boring. That might be my take on it because I'm a huge Batman fan. Rocksteady's Batman series is one of my favorite games, period, of all time. But the game itself for this Suicide Kill the Justice League, it killed all my hopes. It really did. Even though we all knew it was going to be a cash grab to begin with, it's Rocksteady. So I had a standard set up for it, and it's nowhere near that standard. Gameplay is fine. I don't really want to get into it too much because it might change a bit, and every character is different. I played with Captain Boomerang. Deadshot, and it was fine, but it didn't feel overpowerful or anything. He just felt different than everybody else. I only chose him because your travel is varied between each character. Each character has a different type of travel system. Like Captain Boomerang, I can't remember what his was, but he could just poof everywhere. It just didn't make sense to do it that way. So I don't know. There's so many complaints about this game. I will say that I like the character designs. The character designs are really, really well done. I will let Nick talk about some of the voice acting because he brought up a good one when we were playing, and I'm going to let him have that one. So, Pat, from everything you've seen and heard us discuss, is there anything that makes you remotely excited to play this at all?
Just don't call it a live service game.
Too late.
Because that's what they're banking on. They're telling everybody, well, I shouldn't say they. I should say that whenever they've done interviews, their studio product director, Darius specifically, has done numerous interviews where he's like, he never mentions that it's a live service game and really dances around that question because he says it's a unique game that doesn't make it fit in any particular genre. But I'm sorry, their game's not unique. The only thing unique about it is that it's a different story than what other games have done, right? It's still superhero. It's anti-heroes, I guess, if you will, right? I mean, it's villains, not anti-heroes, excuse me. It's villains. They're all villains. Harley Quinn toes the line a little bit, but they all toe the line a little bit, but they're still the bad guys overall. But it's a 4-player co-op game that is a live service game that I think the community is kind of not wanting another live service game, right? I mean, every one of them that's come out in the last 2 years, I'd probably venture to say 3 or 4 is slowly but steadily closing down. Some don't last a week. Some don't last a month. Some definitely don't make it a year. I mean, we are hearing live service games closing down left and right. People seem to not want, or there's no desire currently for another, Fortnite, PUBG, those type of game. But even when you take the closing element out of Fortnite and stuff like that, people don't want another Destiny. They don't want another looter shooter. It seems like, I mean, there's some exciting looking stuff out there, but will it survive? I don't know. We've just had a couple of fantasy based ones that came out last year that are pretty much going away within a year of them releasing. I think one of them had most of them had massive player loss within a month's time where they're just not sustainable. In my opinion, a live service game works as a free model. I don't think, and you guys heard of it, I hate double dipping. and they're going to charge you full price. They're going to charge you for a full price game and then have a microtransaction store. I don't care if it's skins only. That makes it a little bit better in my eyes, but I guarantee you that it's probably not going to be skins only. You know, the Arkham series, great games by Rocksteady, but Warner Brothers is probably like, we need a Fortnite. We need a Destiny. What can you guys do for us? No more Arkham. You finish that storyline. Let's make our own live service game so we can put in minimal effort for maximum profits. And that's what they're going for. And I'm pretty sure it's going to sink. Everything that I'm hearing about this game, I didn't get to play, like they said, I didn't get to play that because I didn't realize they were playing at the time. And I wasn't going to play with myself. I wanted to play with them. But, you know, everything I've heard is completely negative. I've not heard hardly anything good about the game. I've heard the exact same thing Shane said. It's boring, you know, and, you know, that's sad. For a live service game, how are you going to have something that people can hold out for the next however long your season is? And if you're going to have a season pass and all that stuff, that's a live service game. It's continuous community, live service game. It is that. So, I mean, but that's all I really can say about it. I didn't get to play it, but everything I've read about it is negative. All the gameplay footage that I've seen about it is horrible. I'm not impressed with it at all. And I'm like, I remember when we first heard about this game, I was like, ooh, that's going to be fun. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know. Nick, you guys played all of this. And I think I heard both of you tell me that at one point you were playing and there was duplicate characters in the party with other players. Is that not supposed to be that way? I mean, it shouldn't be that way. Everybody in a party should be unique. But I think at one time you told me there was like 2 boomerangs in the party or something like that. And I'm like, so what are your takes, Nick? You mean you got to play it?
Yeah. So, you know, it's so unmemorable for Shane that he didn't play Deadshot. He played Captain Boomerang. I played Deadshot, but that's all right. Because that's what the game, you know, the game is unmemorable. But yes, there was one point where I don't know if that's how the game's supposed to be with the 4 players. There was one point where we had 2 Captain Boomerangs in our group, because our party, even though we had our 2 and then the other 2, King Shark and a Harley Quinn, were in our group, and they're always with you. So you always have 4 characters with you, right? The other 2 play AI, but our party was open, so someone joined it. Well, when they joined it, they joined as Captain Boomerang. And so we had 2 Captain Boomerangs, I think King Shark, and then myself, Deadshot. And it was just it really took you out of the experience to see 2 Captain Boomerangs standing right next to each other and playing it. Like, you know, if you're going to have a game like this that has 4 unique characters, it should be not, if one of the characters is playing one of them, right, you should not be able to play that character as well. It should just not let you do that, right? Everyone should be each different character. That makes it more unique, and it doesn't take you out of the experience, right? Because the immersion was kind of shot when we had 2 Captain Boomerangs. And then for when Shane
switched to King Shark at one point.
Yeah, you switch characters. We went to a cutscene, and then like your Captain Boomerang, the guy that was playing, the other guy that came in and played Captain Boomerang, he was still him, but it changed your character to somebody else. And we went through the scenario part where it was like, it was out of the cutscene, but it was like this kind of like, not the open world, but like a kind of scenario portion where you're playing through like a kind of like a mini dungeon or something. And at that point, it made him King Shark through that portion. Once we got done with that and got back in the open world, he was Captain Boomerang again. So it was really, really weird. But Shane's right. This game is I think the highlight of the game is probably going to be the story. I think the story, even from the alpha, seemed like it was really interesting, and the talking between the characters and all that stuff seems really good as far as what they're talking about and the cadence and everything like that between all the characters. Seems like it's really nice. I feel like this game is going to be one that people are going to play. They're going to cut through, bulldoze through the story, and then once the story is over, they're going to be like, well, on to something else, because it is an open world game. But for me and Shane, and I'm just like Pat, and I think, I think all of us are like that. When we see the shinies, we like to go after everything. But this open world was kind of so boring that it was like, ooh, there's a shiny over there. I really don't care. Moving on, let's go to, and it was just like, I just want to go to the story beats, because the open world portion was really just kind of very lackluster, to where you didn't really care about anything shiny on the map. You just wanted to go to the next story beat because the story was pretty good. So it was like, I just want to continue that and keep going through that, and I don't really care about this other crap that's out here. And Pat's exactly right. It's Warner Brothers wanting to have a live service game out there, and they've taken a great developer such as Rocksteady and said, hey, make us a live service game. And this is, they can do the best they can with what they got. But the problem is and Pat's also right, I think people are just sick and tired of live service games, right? Most of them don't work out. Most of them don't have the ground to stand on most of the time. They usually come up and then just die off. And so most of them don't work out, right? We even have live service games going on now that aren't doing so hot, right? I mean, Diablo is a good example of one. I mean, it still has a player base, it still has people playing, but I don't know how well their cosmetic shop is doing. And the whole live service thing, I think, really degrades what Diablo could be. And the same thing for this game. I think that really degrades what this game could be. If it was a story-driven 4-player co-op game that wasn't live service, it could have been really awesome, kind of something like Guardians of the Galaxies. But that was a single-player game, but just make that, but with 4-player co-op. But what they're making instead is Marvel's Avengers, except for it's Suicide Squad. And, well, we know what happened in Marvel's Avengers. That's pretty much what they're creating here. And that's unfortunate, really. I mean, all publications, the people I've talked to have talked about this, have played the closed alpha, right, online, have all pretty much said the same things that we have here. Is the story seems like it will be pretty good, but everything else seems pretty push it to the side, and that's unfortunate. So, yeah, I mean, the game wasn't. I think we finished what was available in the alpha. I'm pretty sure. I think we completed it. It wasn't very long. It was like a few story beats, but
yeah, I may have fell asleep. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we finished it, but I mean, like I say, we didn't do any of the side stuff. We just hit the story beats, right after the other, and then when that was over with, we're like, cool, like, because that was the best part of it, was the story beats. Like, everything else was just kind of like fluff, like stuff we didn't really care about. I think the different characters, Shane is right. They do feel unique. They do feel independent from one another. I picked Deadshot because I liked the way I liked his moveset, because he was mainly guns, which they're all guns, but he was mainly just sit back and shoot. And I liked his traversal, which is jetpack. Captain Boomerang wasn't too bad either. His traversal was like jumping around. Harley Quinn uses like a hook shot, and then King Shark, I don't know, he swims or something. So one thing that Shane was talking about is Harley Quinn's voice actress. She does the best she can, but if they made a Wreck-It Ralph cartoon and they wanted somebody to voice Vanellope Von Sweet, that's the lady to do that, because that's what it sounded like. And I said that, and it was funny too, because we were playing the game, and I said to Shane, I said, who does Harley Quinn sound like? I was like, and I couldn't think of the name. I was like, she sounds like the lady from Wreck-It Ralph. And he started laughing. He's like, oh my gosh, she does. Sounds like Sarah Silverman playing Vanellope in the Wreck-It Ralph. It's what it sounded like. It didn't sound like Harley Quinn. It sounded like that. King Shark sounds like Drax. It sounds very close to Drax from Guardians of the Galaxies. Captain Boomerang and Deadshot, they just sound unique. I think Captain Boomerang is going to be probably the funniest character in the game for sure. Deadshot's a little too serious. Captain Boomerang's kind of like your comic relief. Harley Quinn is kind of like the mold, the glue that's going to keep everything together. And King Shark is, well, he's Drax.
King Shark is a shark.
He's a shark. That's all there is to it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. This game is not gonna. I just have a feeling like I said, I think the story is going to be pretty good. I think that's going to go over pretty well, but I think the rest of the game is going to be pretty, forgettable. So
yeah, unfortunately, Kevin Conroy, the greatest Batman voice actor. I mean, he is Batman in my book. Unfortunately, this was his last foray as Batman. I believe it was his very last foray into it. And, it saddens me that this is where he's leaving us off at. And I don't want this to, because I know this is more of a business end decision to make this type of game. So I really don't want people thinking bad of Rocksteady, because you play the Arkham series, you'll know exactly why. They're great writers. They're great game designers. They're great level designers. Everything they did in those series was fantastic. Now, this was an alpha. I didn't go into it with a sense of excitement whatsoever. Maybe the full game will be better. Granted, we played the alpha like a month ago, so within 2 months they're going from alpha to how you doing. So I don't got a lot of hope still, but we're going to let you know. So stay tuned for our review.
Yeah. I mean, in a time we just heard that Sony canceled Naughty Dog's Last of Us multiplayer game. I mean, they were banking on something very similar. I mean, I think Destiny 2, Bungie's Destiny 2 is struggling. They're hard to keep players. They put out a couple of really crappy expansions, and the story's getting kind of laying off
left and right too.
And so is Epic, who makes Fortnite. Mm-hmm. They've been laying off people. I mean, Epic, I guarantee you Fortnite's still a freaking moneymaker. But if you think about in 2023, the largest, the games that did the best were fortunately, depending on your look, they were single player games. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, you had all kinds of great games last year that were like knocking it out of the park, and they were predominantly single player games, or maybe had like a co-op element to it, but were not like a massive multiplayer or a live service game. So I think the gaming community is just like, we've been bled dry, and in this country, in the US, we've had record inflation over last year and everything, and people are like, I want a one and done. I want to buy this game, and I want to just play it until I can't play it anymore. I don't want to buy a $70 game and then need to shell out $15 for the battle pass, and then $5 more, five, I'm being generous, $10, $15, $20 more for a skin. Nobody wants to do that. And I think it's showing that people are over this. I will never understand the skin game like Fortnite does and Diablo does. I'm like, so you're going to put a skin on me, and cool, I look like this, and then you're going to sell me another one in a month, and I may or may not ever go back to the other one. And to me, it's just a racket. It's like, cool, look at me, I got new bling. I guess it's for those people who got to have the latest and greatest. I need the next Coach bag. See my Coach bag, or you guys check out my Nike shoes, or whatever. Those people, because to me, I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass. I'm like, I'll get what's in the game. All I care about is the gameplay mechanics. I don't care about your item shop. Now, if it's a free-to-play game and I am playing the crap out of it, I have bought stuff from their item shop because I want to support them. I'm like, cool, I play weeks of this game. Support them. How do I support them? Because I didn't pay for their game, or I'm not paying a monthly subscription. I'm going to buy something from them so they can continue to do their business, So, but full price game, item mall are two things you don't mix. Beer and hard liquor, you try not to mix. Sometimes you do, and what happens? You vomit everywhere. You vomit all over the clowns in the bathroom, whatever. Or your girlfriend's rose bushes, whatever you got. You just vomit in places you shouldn't.
That's right. You have something to say, Shane?
I was just gonna say, I'm a DC fan. I love Marvel, don't get me wrong, but DC has always been my wheelhouse, my bread and butter. They make the best movies, animated movies, not the live action. Those don't count. So it does concern me. They did take away some concern in me, though, of how they did the characters with the alpha, though. I will say this. I liked what they did with GL, Green Lantern. Sorry, we call him GL at this house. I like what they did with Flash's characters. Even the Suicide Squad. They did. they did good character design with him. The voice acting was fine, except for Harley, Vanellope, whatever the hell her name is. Um, it appears to be Brainiac is your main villain of the game, and I think they did a great job with him as well. So I just wanted to point out it's not all doom and gloom. Just about 90% of it's doom and gloom. There might be
does
10
the voice
cents
of Harley Quinn. You know that
she
right?
did not do a good job in this.
But she does like voice acting for all kinds
I
of
love Tara
cartoon
Strong,
animation.
man. She Tara Strong is like every voice actor. Who's that lady doing the voice? Tara Strong. Are you sure? It's always Tara Strong. She's that good.
But it's not her first voice actor as Harley Quinn. I wonder if it sounds the same as the other one. I've not played, so I don't know.
No, it's not
because she did Harley Quinn's voice in Arkham in the Batman Arkham games.
It doesn't sound
anytime
right
they've done
this
Harley.
game.
Yeah, anytime they've done Harley Quinn in the animated, she's pretty much been the one doing it.
Yeah, I love Tara Strong. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't sound quite right in this game. It's almost like they did something with the pitching of her voice in this game. It may not be her performance. It just might be the way they've set up her audio. I don't know. But if once you hear it, Pat, you'll see what I mean. But I love Tara Strong. There's no complaints on Tara Strong. She's hot. She's got a great range of voice characters. So let it all good with her. I mean, she does Raven, for God's sakes, in the good Teen Titans. She does it in the other ones, but we only consider the good Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go is a good Teen Titans.
You shut your dirty cake hole.
It is good. I like Teen Titans Go as well. I'm with Nick. Teen Titans Go is
shave
funny.
your beard with a rusty spoon, you bastards.
You just don't know good animation. It's funny.
Shit.
It is funny. But anyway, I agree, Shane. I think they did really good with the characters. And yeah, I'm not downing on her as far as her voice acting. She does a good job acting the part. It just sounds like Vanellope Von Sweet from Wreck-It Ralph than it does Harley Quinn, right? It just reminded me, like, when she first started talking, that's what my brain just went automatically to that and said, that sounds like the girl from Wreck-It Ralph, more than it did Harley Quinn, right? And that's what my brain was telling me. But as far as her performance goes, she does a great job as far as that goes. And all of the characters do. So I think that's going to be the highlight of the Suicide Squad is the characters, the voice acting along with the characters and the story and everything like that, which is really Rockstar's, besides, Arkham's combat and things, that's really kind of the bread and butter of their stuff, right? The Arkham series had really great voice acting and story and stuff like that. And that's what Rocksteady is really good at. And so they're bringing that to this. It's just everything else surrounding that is mediocre at best. Right. And that's unfortunate. So we'll have to see, like Shane said, we will be doing a review of the game. So, check back with us as it gets closer to release time. And you can see our review and see what we ultimately think once the game comes out of alpha, cuts through beta apparently, and goes to full release here in the next couple weeks. So we'll let you know how the game is, and of course, all the critic sites out there will let you know how the game is before it releases and everything like that. But check back with us because we're better than them. Do you guys got anything else you want to say about this?
No, we're just better.
We're just better. That's all right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Let us know in the comments below. Did you play the closed alpha? And if so, what are your thoughts? What did you think? Did you really enjoy it? Did you have the same critiques that we did? Did you absolutely hate the entire thing? Let us know down in the comments below. Are you looking forward to this game? I think it'll be a fun co-op game. Ultimately, if you have some buddies to play the game with, I think you're going to have a good time regardless of how it is. I mean, even Marvel Avengers, which I didn't think was a very good game, we still had a pretty good time playing it together, right? And we do that a lot with a lot of games that aren't that great, but we have a fun time playing them together. And trust me, we played some the other day that aren't great games, but we had a fun time playing together. So we do that all the time, and you know, that makes the experience even better when you're playing with your friends. So I think this is one of those games that even if it does suck, it's going to be, you know, somewhat fun playing with your friends and going through there and everything. But let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Help us out, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.